Nikhil Kamath dropped out of school at 16.
No connections, no inheritance, no safety net.
By 30, he was managing over 1,000 crores.
Now, most people look at that and think hustle story, rags to riches, another self made guy. That's not what this is.
What Nikhil Kamath is running psychologically is something that people spend years understanding, and the quieter he gets, the more dangerous it becomes. Here's what intrigues me about Nikhil Kamath the most.
Most successful people, when you study them, eventually make sense. You find the formula, the mentor, the lucky break, the obsession that clicked at the right time.
Nikhil doesn't fully make sense, and that's not a compliment I am giving lightly.
He's not the loudest person in the room. He doesn't perform ambition. He doesn't sell you a dream. He just operates. Quietly, precisely. Like someone who decided very early that the rules everyone else follows were optional.
There are three psychological patterns inside Nikhil Kamath that nobody talks about. Pattern 1. Why he thinks about people the way a chess player thinks about his pieces. Pattern 2. The specific psychological wound that became his greatest competitive advantage. Pattern 3. The one mental framework that he runs that makes him almost impossible to argue with, manipulate, or beat in any room he walks into. Let's start with the chess player. Nikhil Kamath started trading stocks at a mere age of 16.
Not investing, trading. Meaning he was studying human behavior, panic, greed, and irrationality in real time every single day as a teenager.
Think about what that does to a developing mind.
While most 16-year-olds were figuring out friendships and exams, he was learning one brutal lesson on repeat. People are predictable, and predictability is exploitable.
Now here's where it gets psychologically interesting. Chess players, and I mean genuinely strong chess players, do not see the board as we beginners do.
Beginners react to moves. Strong players think in systems. They are not asking what should I do now. They are asking what does my opponent's last move reveal about how they think. Nikhil does the same thing with the people. Watch any interview he gives. Watch how he responds to questions he disagrees with. He doesn't correct people aggressively. He asks a quiet question back, or he reframes the entire premise so smoothly that the other person doesn't even realize their argument just collapsed.
That's not confidence. That's something much colder and precise than confidence.
In behavioral psychology, this is called third-person self-distancing. The ability to observe yourself and others in a situation as if you are watching from outside the room. It removes emotional reactivity. It replaces reaction with calculation.
Most people operate from inside the situation, but Nikhil operates from above it.
That's pattern 1. He is not the smartest person in every room. He is the one who understands the room better than anyone else in it.
Here's something most people skip over when they talk about Nikhil Kamath.
He didn't just drop out of school at 16 because he was bored or rebellious. He dropped out because school had already told him in very clear terms that he didn't belong there. He struggled academically. He didn't fit the system. And in India, you know what that means. That's not just academic failure, that's identity failure. Now, most people who experience that kind of early rejection go one of the two ways. They either internalize it by saying, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, and spend the rest of their lives shrinking. Or they do something psychologically rarer and more dangerous. They decide the system that rejected them is the problem, not them. Nikhil chose the second path. Nikhil's rejection became something quieter and more powerful than that.
It became detachment.
In psychology, this is called internal locus of control at an extreme level. The deep belief that your outcomes are determined by your own thinking and action, not by external circumstances or other people's opinions. And this is why Nikhil can sit across from billionaires, celebrities, and intellectual giants on his podcast completely unbothered.
Here's the counterintuitive thing about Nikhil Kamath.
For someone who thinks like a chess player, who reads rooms, who built an empire from scratch, you would expect him to be certain, aggressive, and convinced that he is always right.
But he is the opposite. Nikhil Kamath is one of the most publicly uncertain people at his level of success in India.
Like my t shirt today says, transient, that word means a lot to me.
Why's that?
I feel like I have changed as a person every year in the last 10 years. What I thought I wanted today has been totally different from what I wanted the next year.
And most people watch that and think, oh, he is humble, he is open minded, how refreshing. But that is not the point here.
What Nikhil is running is something psychologically far more sophisticated than humility. It's called intellectual anti-fragility. This is the same principle we saw in Samay's controversy pattern, getting stronger from chaos. Nikhil applies this to his own belief system. Every time someone challenges his thinking, every time he's wrong, every time a model he held breaks down, he doesn't lose ground, he upgrades. Most people protect their beliefs because their identity is attached to their beliefs.
Nikhil detached his identity from his beliefs a long time ago. Think about what that means competitively. And here's where pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3 collapse into one thing. Put these three things inside a person, and you not only just get a successful businessman,
You get someone who is almost designed psychologically to be impossible to stop.
Here's what stayed with me after going deep into Nikhil Kamath's psychology. Most of us are waiting for a permission, and inside that rejection, instead of waiting for a permission that was never coming, he just stopped needing it. That's not a hustle quote, that's not just motivation. That is a specific psychological shift that either happens to you or it doesn't. And the people who have experienced this early in their lives move through the world differently, and that too permanently. If this is the kind of content you want more of, you know what to do. In the next video, I am decoding someone whose psychological wiring is almost the mirror image of Nikhil Kamath's, who has the same cultural impact but completely different engine underneath. That one goes up next. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't ever miss the minds I am decoding. Thank you.